Smoking Behind the Supermarket is an anime that I have been looking forward to, and I actually forgot that it was airing this season until I saw a clip recently on social media and somebody was commenting on it. I was like, oh, is that out right now? Oh, shoot. Because I was looking forward to it. As soon as I read the premise and synopsis of it, weeks ago, I was like, oh, or months ago, I should say at this point. It was one that I was really looking forward to. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll spend some of this past weekend at the time of recording this to binge watch it so I could catch up with it, because 12 episodes are out right now and I don't know how long it's going to run. But as I'm watching it, it was exactly, or is exactly, how good as I assumed it would be. A very simple slice of life. It's about a Japanese salaryman, hard worker or overworked, working in the office, where his job kind of drains him of like all life by the end of the day. And the one thing that makes his whole work day worth it is going to his local supermarket to interact with this very, very beautiful cashier woman and just seeing her smile. So I just want to see if I can bring that up real quick.
ありがとうございました。いらっしゃいませ。ポイントカードはお持ちですか?
Yeah. So I can relate to this in a way, and I enjoy my slice of life. It's like I said, it's a very, very simple slice of life. And I can relate to this in a way because while he works in more of a white collar office job, I work more in a blue collar, physically demanding job, I guess you could say. I'm not going to say exactly what I do, but sometimes, if when it's summertime and it's really hot, then it's extremely hot. And when it's wintertime and it's cold, it's extremely cold to where wear two pairs of gloves, because when your hand hits up against any type of steel or metal, it hurts like hell. And in the summertime, you're just dripping because the sun is beating down on you all the time. So sometimes I'll be having a bad day, depending if how many customers come in, how hectic it can get. And there's this one girl where she just brightens my day, or anyone's day, and you could be having the worst day, and as soon as she comes in, when she's on the schedule, sometimes when I even see her name on the schedule, I'm like, oh, so-and-so is coming in today. It's a breath of fresh air. It kind of it makes you forget that you're even having a bad day. And she has that type of presence, kind of similar to her, I guess you could say. Very feminine, soft-spoken, has a pretty smile that it just light up your world. It's almost like I know this sounds crazy, but it's almost like a glowing halo effect around her, because where I'm from, like a very, very feminine woman is not very common. So when I see her, it's like, wow, she's wearing a dress, or when it's summertime, she's wearing a sundress. Like, she's very beautiful. It's almost like, what are you doing in this city? You do not need to be here. You're too much of a rare gem and diamond in the rough. And it may sound like I'm exaggerating, but I'm not, believe me. So anyway, I can relate to this. What's kind of cool about this story, interacting with her at the cashier makes his day. Working, I guess, how many hours, 12, 16 hours a day, it makes it all worth it. It makes him forget about whatever project he's working on that's giving him hell, his boss giving him hell, whether his boss chewed him out, or whatever client or customer he's working with dissatisfied whatever project he's working on. It makes it all worth it. And also, he has a smoke here and there. He smokes cigarettes. Smoke with cigarettes. Look, even after seeing her, the thought kind of lingers, and it's maybe like a 40-second, maybe at the most, maybe a minute and a half interaction, but it makes his day and it makes it all worth it. So what's funny is that, let me see if I can fast forward this. Yeah, look. So look at this. When he does look forward to seeing her, sometimes I guess the cashier isn't there, to somebody else working this shift, and he's like, oh man. And there's no disrespect to this character either, but you can see the expression on his face, like complete disappointment. Complete disappointment. If anything, it makes his day worse. Like, damn, I was looking forward to seeing so-and-so. It was funny, he doesn't need to buy any of these grocery items at the market. He forces himself, or creates an excuse for himself, to buy anything that will bring him in the presence of this beautiful woman. And then he's looking for a smoking area around the market. So this is why, hence, smoking behind the supermarket. There's another employee of the supermarket that says, hey, I see you want to smoke. Do you want to smoke here? And she has like a very, very cool demeanor, very opposite from the cashier girl, where the cashier girl has a very feminine, soft-spoken, very cheerful personality, where she has a more, I guess, I don't know, standoffish is the right word, but a very more carefree, apathetic attitude, I guess, maybe you could say. And and she's just I don't know, she's just a badass. I think she's badass. So she reminds me of the girl from Persona 5, the doctor who also wears like a leather jacket. Kind of like, not goth. Goth is the wrong word, but like kind of emo-ish, maybe. I got a thing for like baddies wearing leather. I don't know. And when they have the attitude to suit. I think the same girl from Persona 5, the doctor, where you get your healing items from, she was my favorite girl in that. So basically she tells him like, oh, I see you have a crush on so-and-so, the cashier. I see you coming in every night googly eyeing over her. And he gets like, he feels kind of like put on the spot, like, oh no, it's not like that. And she gets the sense that he's not like some creep or pervert trying to get into the cashier's pants, because she says the cashier has to deal with so many guys a day trying to flirt with her, get her number, basically try to get a one-night stand out of her, and how it's kind of tiresome for the cashier. So she says it's a breath of fresh air, where of course you're a guy, you're going to find her attractive, but as long as you're not being a pervert, that's kind of cool, and you're cool in my book, you're good in my book to her. And this is like a cool first interaction for these two. They both enjoy smoking cigarettes, but the twist here is that the same girl who is the cashier is so-and-so. So they kind of gave it away. I like how they sometimes you have these subtle hints. The ear piercing right there, it shows you the ear hole. So yeah, that's the twist right here. The same girl who is the cashier is the same girl who invited him to smoke with her behind the supermarket. She has fun with him, right? She kind of teases him and says that, hey, I told so-and-so that you thought she was beautiful. He's like, what? Why would you do that? And, of course, yeah, well, any guy or girl is like, yo, if you reveal who I have a crush on to the person I have a crush on, it's very embarrassing, and it makes it awkward for whenever you interact with that person next. I've had that happen before. Which what's kind of cool is that throughout the series, they really get to know each other. Just them smoking behind the scenes becomes something they both look forward to almost every day, just to have a quick smoke break. And then there's a moment where he has to get a physical checkup for his job, and it turns out that the results of his physical checkup is that he's having a problem with his lungs, and the doctor recommends that he stop smoking. He says, damn, now this link that kind of brought us both together is kind of going to be stripped away. It's going to be disconnected, because, well, what's the point of coming here if I can't smoke? And I'm assuming that he didn't want to kind of impose or overstep his boundaries. Yeah, he's looking like, I mean, I want to go there, but is this considered rude, or is this considered taking advantage of her kindness or courtesy? So he says, all right, I'll just keep going. And I like this part right here. I don't know. I love these type of dynamics, this type of dynamic between characters where she's very assertive, right? Of course, she has like a split personality for the intention of her job. She has a split personality. This is who she really is. And, she just smacks the shit out of him. And she always has a very like kind of blank, cold, maybe too much of a strong word, but a blank sort of cold expression. More apathetic, but you can tell she's enjoying his company. And man, she's a baddie too. That dress is really fitting her. So he tells her like, hey, turns out for my physical checkup I had to stop smoking, and she is trying to be thoughtful, I should say. It's like, hey, is it wrong for me to just smoke? And it shows that their relationship has become more than just two people who what they have in common is smoking. They actually have grown a certain type of kingship or relationship or companionship, to where they both start talking about each other's personal problems at work, where she talks about her work day and how she has to deal with customers, and how he gets chewed out by his boss that is very strict and rigid and very demanding. And he says, listen, you don't have to.
吸って大丈夫だよ、田山さん。
And basically he says, listen, you don't have to stop smoking on my behalf. I'm gonna hold this cigarette and I'll pretend I'm smoking, but I'm gonna start smoking vicariously through you. And it shows that, yeah, like their interaction has become more than just smoking. You know, it's, of course they both share the same vice, but they almost had become, I'm trying to find the right way to put this. They almost had become, their company to each other has become the substitution of smoking. Their company alone has become the source of being able to unwind, a source of relaxation, a source of relief from both of their work days. You know, she's a baddie. And, you know, she gets to play with him as far as messing with him, teasing him. Like, he still doesn't know they're the same person, the cashier and her. And she teases him like, oh, I told so-and-so what you said about her to me. And, it, you know, he gets embarrassed constantly. And then the cashier says, oh, yeah, so-and-so told me. And he's like, what? She told you? Not knowing they're the same person. So it's very, very funny. And she gives him advice at his work and he gives her advice at her work. And as the story progresses, because at first he was more, I guess I could say, more reliant on her company rather than, because she can find company anywhere else, right? She's a woman, like any guy would be willing to hang out with her. But the reason why she likes his company, because he's somebody who's not trying to get in her pants. Of course, she knows that he finds her attractive, but not in like, hey, I'm trying to get with you. Like, actually, like just hanging out here and smoking and just talking, you know, shooting the breeze, socializing with you. And she finds that as a source of relief. I can actually hang out with a guy who's not trying to get into my pants, and that in itself is attractive. And you see that through the course of these episodes, where there's times when he doesn't come every night knocking on the gate like, hey, is so-and-so there? And she kind of feels lonely, or she kind of starts missing his company. And that's why you saw right here where she was like running up to him like, hey, get your butt over here, hang out with me. Oh, and it turns out I'm not going to spoil it. Well, I guess I already spoiled so much. It turns out the physical checkup was a misdiagnosis, and he gets the call while they're hanging out here. And they're like, oh, I can start smoking it again. But I think it's going to get to a point where they both actually quit smoking, and they realize like, oh, it's not even about smoking anymore. I actually like just hanging out with you, and you're my source of relief that smoking used to fulfill. You become a substitute for that. And I could be wrong. I'm just guessing. And the more they open up to each other, it like the music as well. The music is really good too. For some, I don't know. Like, I enjoy these type of slice of life stories where it doesn't have like a really heavy plot. I love those moments where like, and it's almost similar to Sakamoto days, where Sakamoto, where he met his wife in the supermarket, she was also a cashier. As soon as she smiled, it like lit up his day. Like, oh, the same thing happens to him, whereas all he has to do is see the cashier smile, and it makes his day. It makes all of those long, boring, mundane hours working in front of a computer, it makes it all worth it. This 30-second to a minute interaction makes a 16-hour day doing bullshit, or not bullshit, just doing mundane, boring work worth it. And like I said, I can relate to somewhat of that, like more on how even if you're having a bad day, like a smile, a pretty smile from like just a woman being feminine, is just it'll make you forget you're having a bad day. You could be having a worse day. And it's funny because it shows how simple guys are. It really shows how simple we are. It doesn't take much to please us, entertain us, make our day. It's just a feminine presence will just be the highlight, and just, you know, something that could just brighten up even the most cloudy of days. It's something that's kind of a shame. I remember going on a date. I said this on stream before, but I'll say the story for this. I remember maybe around 2020. I guess, yeah, around 2020, I went on a date with this girl. We did a picnic date in the park. I got the sheets, the blanket, I got the picnic basket, I got the red wine with the cheese and crackers, etc. And we had a good day. It was a very, very fun date. During the date, we talked about what both of us finds attractive in the opposite gender. And when I told her, and I was like, man, something as simple and small as a pretty smile is what's going to make me attracted towards a woman. And when I said that, it kind of surprised her, Like, is it like, what, really? That's all it takes? Like, she was expecting this complicated equation of how to gain a male's attraction. I was like, no, just something as small as a pretty smile from a woman will melt a man's heart and would just make a man's day. And I looked, I could tell by her expression and her reaction, this was like honest news to her, like news alert. Like, it's like nobody ever told her this, or if anything, she's been fed the opposite point of view. Like, no, it was just news to her. I was like, wow, really? Like, you didn't know that? And so, yeah, and as this show displays, yes, something as small as a feminine smile from a woman will make a man's day. And so, yeah, if you're interested, I don't know, if you're into a slice of life, like I said, I wanted to comment on this because I binged watch it over the weekend. I'm really enjoying it. I love it. Like I said, she's like, she fits into one of my type of women. Like, I just like her outfit. I like her hairstyle. I like her apathetic expression along with that leather jacket. Yeah, it reminds me of that girl from Persona 5 as well. I can't wait to see what happens if he finds out who that cashier is. It's the same as her. I can't wait for that reveal. She has a nickname in her head for him where it's like Slow Sasuke, like meaning like he's slow, like he's not quite bright as far as putting two and two together or connecting the dots on who this woman is. Okay, random subscription. Shout out Magical Prism 23. You get a shout out for this video. But yeah, man, I'm really enjoying it. And I don't know if slice of life is for everybody, but it's definitely for me. I love my slice of life here and there. So again, it's smoking behind the supermarket, very chill. And yeah, man. But as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, consider joining my channel, subscribing for exclusive content. Becoming a member is much appreciated. And I will see you in the next video or next live stream. Free think. Peace.